Oi oi, culture hashers, culture hashettes, it's time, big day for the channel. We're going to talk about the new album from Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, Bandana. Bandana is the follow-up to Pinata, the duo's last collaborative album, which came out in 2014 and received a good deal of critical acclaim. The return of Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, aka Mad Gibbs, is big news in underground hip-hop. Madlib is the legendary producer behind underground classics like Mad Villainy with MF Doom. Madlib is one of few true producers in the hip-hop genre. He's an absolute legend. A lot of people just make beats, but Madlib's work is just very conceptual. Beat Conductor 3 and 4 were inspired by Bollywood films, and Beat Conductor Volume 5 and 6 were inspired by the late J Dilla and his own eclectic style of production. So Madlib's production style is cinematic. It uses all these weird niche little samples as well. Not everyone can rap over Madlib's beats due to their eclectic nature and the uncharacteristic tempo changes that he's known to throw into his beats. So it's a big endorsement of Freddie Gibbs' MC skills for him to have two projects with Madlib. But Freddie Gibbs is extremely talented. He's not been around as long as Madlib, but he has a lot of cachet on the underground hip-hop scene due to his incredible fast-paced flow, gruff voice, and Freddie Gibbs combines this with his intricate coke rap narratives. Everyone was surprised that Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's style worked so well together, and while Pinata was a good project, Bandana just blows the roof off and is one of the best rap albums I've heard this year. My words can't really do justice to this project due to the intricate nature of these beats and these subtle things that you only pick up on the 4th or 5th listen to a particular song. Freddie Gibbs mentally wrote a lot of his raps when he was in prison in Austria recently, and he's a lot more introspective than we've heard from him before. Meanwhile, I was shocked to learn that Madlib produced all of his beats on an iPad. Madlib creates an intricate 1970s soul-inspired soundscape, and Freddie Gibbs' first-person coke rap narratives makes this feel like a Blaxploitation movie. Compton's Most Wanted, a legendary West Coast Golden Age hip-hop group led by MC8, are one of many inspirations for the sound of this album. Compton's Most Wanted would juxtapose these lush soul samples with MC8's gruff, grimy, hopeless street narratives. Bandana's heavy use of soul samples achieves a similar effect. Bandana's full of great tracks. Giannis featuring Anderson .Paak is a highlight. I love Anderson .Paak's delivery of the hook and the bridge. And the production's got these gentle twinkling keys underscored by gruff, boom bap drums. I love Freddie Gibbs' verse on here, especially when he talks about watching Dora the Explorer with his daughter, which rhymes, but also doesn't really fit with Freddie Gibbs' ultra macho image, so I thought that was quite funny. Half Man, Half Cocaine is notable for being one of the first instances of Madlib making a trap style beat, and he pulls it off really well. I mean, this is Madlib, so he can do whatever he wants really. I feel like Madlib just tucked these trap drums in just to prove to the internet he can make a trap beat better than a lot of people who do it for a living. And Half Man, Half Cocaine takes a real interesting shift in the second half. And Madlib puts some really dark, menacing effects on Freddie Gibbs' vocals on this second half. Madlib treats Freddie Gibbs' vocals like an instrument on this album. He subtly changes the effects to emphasise what Freddie Gibbs is saying. Like in the second half of Cataracts. Cataracts deals with Freddie Gibbs' codeine addiction. In the second half of this track, Madlib does a wonderful job distorting Freddie Gibbs' voice. It feels like Madlib just takes the bass out of Freddie's voice, making him sound pathetic and washed up. This cinematic technique really heightens the darkness of Freddie Gibbs' addiction. The mellow and frankly pathetic ends to Cataracts really contrast the bright soul sample that the first half is built around. Freddie Gibbs is full of boisterous energy, boasting about how he's smoking to get rid of his cataracts. Cataracts really feels like a track of two halves. The first half just celebrating this drug life, smoking weed all the time, and it feels like you see the real consequences of this fast living on Gibbs in this somber second half. And it's all just expressed through his voice and the production. Absolutely fantastic Cataracts. And then finally, we'll talk about Fake Names, probably my favourite track on here, easily the best beat switch I've heard this entire year. Freddie Gibbs' flow on this track is fantastic, like it is on the rest of the album. It just sounds like a continuous sentence that he's going through. The production complements Freddie Gibbs perfectly. It begins with some light strings and some mild boom bap drums before we move into a smooth second half built around a sample of the Silvers' Cry Me a Dreamer. The transition occurs with a small moment of silence about a third of the way in. There are these smooth, gorgeous vocals that float in and out of the instrumental and complement Freddie Gibbs' vocals lovely. Freddie Gibbs' subject matter concerns growing up in the hood. The first half is bleak and dark, and then we transition into the lighter second half, where Freddie Gibbs addresses the same subject matter, but from a more boastful and upbeat perspective. The concept of Fake Names is fantastic and it works brilliantly. Fake Names is my favourite track on this album so far, but that's the great thing about Bandana. I think I'm going to just really get to know the songs differently, and if you ask me in 6 months' time, it's probably going to change. I really enjoyed Pinata when it came out, but Bandana exceeds it in every single way. The beats are so cinematic, Freddie Gibbs' bars are fantastic, his flows are just outrageous throughout this project, and we haven't even touched on the guests like Pusha T, Killer Mike, Mos Def, and Black Thought. I mean, this project, I've only talked about a tiny amount of what makes this project great. There are so many brilliant tracks on here. Bandana feels like an instant classic and is testament to the production skills of Madlib. He's up there with the likes of Dr. Dre and DJ Premier, just producers who understand that being a hip-hop producer is more than just having someone rap over some beats. It's about those little vocal touches and just the overall project soundscape in general. So for me, Freddie Gibbs, Madlib, Mad Gibbs, Bandana is worthy of 9 out of 10.